All right, Chinch, going on,
Yes.
brother? Yes, we're back. We're doing it. We're doing it week in and week out.
Yep.
We got a special one this week, man. We got a special guest this week. Good buddy of mine, man. Good buddy of pretty much everybody's. If you've ever played in the big leagues, you're a good buddy of this guy. He's one of the best dudes going.
Good buddy to Yankee fans too. Good buddy to
Yankee fans. You know, 19 seasons in the big leagues, which makes me feel old because I remember when this guy came in, I was like, man, this guy's a thoroughbred. 251 career wins, 609 career winning percentage. That's really good. That means you're a really good pitcher. That's Cooperstown bound. 10 seasons in the top 10 in wins, led the league in wins twice, 6-time All-Star, 2007 AL Cy Young Award. If you get that award, that means you're dominant. Went 11-2 in the second half of 2008, carried the Milwaukee Brewers to the postseason. We'll talk about that on his back, basically. If anyone could ever do that, this guy could. 3,093 career strikeouts, which I know only one of 3 lefties ever with 3,000 Ks. I'm going to mention it again, but that's Cooperstown stuff. 2009 ALCS MVP, 2009 World Series champ with the Yankees, 4 career home runs. This guy could probably hit a little bit, but they wouldn't let him. And we think a future ballot, first-time Hall of Famer. Hey, CC Sabathia, what's up, C?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Oh, man, thank you so much for joining us, man. Where are you right now, brother? It seems like, well, one thing I want to ask you, man, because I follow you on Instagram. I'm like, this guy's in the Bahamas, you know, and he's deep sea fishing. This guy's in freaking Colorado playing softball. This guy's swimming with sharks and I don't even know where that was. He's everywhere. I'm like, this guy just beams himself somewhere, you know? So where are you now, seeing what's been going on, dude, with you lately in the life of CC Sabathia?
You know what's crazy, Case? I'm really good at retirement. I should have retired 5 years ago, bro. This is great. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm actually sitting in Philly at this hitting facility called Brain and Barrel. My 17-year-old. He's aspiring baseball player, rising senior, and he's been on the circuit. So he's been everywhere. He's been, you know, he plays for FTB, travel ball scout team, the Philly scout team. So he was all over. We've been in Hoover, Alabama. He just got back from Cary, North Carolina. We've been in Tampa. We get ready to go to San Diego tomorrow. So it's just been fun to be able to be retired, integrate myself back into my family. I mean, because you know, when you're retired, when you're playing, you're gone. You're not dad. So I'm excited just to be dad, to be able to drive him to his hitting coach and drop my girls off at summer camp. And you know, my youngest son went baseball camp at IMG. So it's just a lot of fun to be able to be home and be a civilian and live a normal life, man. I love it. I really do.
Oh, dude,
I
remember.
Say that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
John Smoltz, I used to work with him, and he's the most obsessive golf fan and golfer of all time. We were all at work one day, and somebody turned to me and was like, hey, you going to watch the Masters? He's like, the Masters is on? And we were like, John, how do you not know the Masters is on? He goes, well, because for 25 years I've been playing on Sundays, so no, I've never seen the Masters, and now I can watch it. You know?
And you know what's crazy is that, you miss those certain things because, you know, maybe there's a pool because you know the Masters coming up, or you know, there's all these different things that or even fantasy football. Because for 20 years I had a built-in group of friends that I played fantasy football with. Well, last year I was retired. I was fantasy football league. You know what I'm saying? I gotta find some friends to play fantasy football with. So being away from the game, it helps you find your friend group because you have built-in, you know, basically buddies the whole time that you're playing baseball.
It's so true, man. I remember. I think one thing you look back, you know, you have your buddies all the time, and you have that routine. The baseball routine is unlike any other. I've been asked a couple times to be hitting coach for a couple different teams. I'm like, I'm just not willing to do that life again. It's such a crazy life and that routine. I love the civilian life too much. And I see one thing was, you know, I had one of those moments too. The year I retired, I remember it was April. It was May, and I was grilling out outside at my house, and I'm looking around going, I haven't done this.
That's why my wife was like, you want to go here, you want to do this, you want to do that, you ain't sitting down. I was like, babe, I had a summer off since 1997. Every year since 97, I'm working in the summertime. So now the weather's nice, I want to enjoy it myself.
Oh, man, it's so true, man. It's so true. And you don't know until you don't know what you don't know, right? Like you were saying, hey, I would have done this 5 years ago. You're like, yeah, but you just didn't know.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's so great. Hey, you were just down in the Bahamas with I was talking to CY, and he said you guys had a nice little birthday trip, had a good time doing some fishing. Now, I know you're a big fisherman, but CY was saying that he can't hang with you because he gets seasick.
Yeah.
But so, dude, when you're out there deep sea fishing, what are you catching? Like, what's been your best catch out there?
Man, you know what? So my best day deep sea fishing was 2018, November. I remember the day. It was November 11th, 2018, and we caught 49 blue stripe marlin in one day.
Wow. Oh, my God. You just hit a school of them.
Insane. I wish I could go through my phone and show you the picture, but it was an insane day. It was me and my buddy Michael Palmer. We went out on the boat with Peter Miller, who's a big-time fisherman. He's got a show on Discovery. I fish with him all the time on the east coast of Florida. We've been to Guatemala. We've been to GR, Bahamas. But that day in Cabo, Case, I'm telling you, by the end of the day, we were letting them off. Like, we couldn't reel them in anymore. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was exhausted from, reeling in fish. As soon as the boat cut off, the engine cut off, it was fish on, lines were going crazy, bro. Never had a day like that before in my life. So that was one of my better days. I like to go inshore fishing too. So I'll go every year down to Venice, Louisiana. My whole Sabathia side of the family is from New Orleans and Baton Rouge and the bayou down there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll go down to Venice, rent a house on the bayou and fish all day. Whatever we catch, we bring it up to the house, cook it, throw it all on the table, eat, and then go right back out in the morning. So you know what? I wasn't crazy about fishing. I went fishing a lot when I was a kid with my father and my grandfather. But AJ Burnett, when I got a chance to play with AJ in 09, that spring training in 09, we fished every day. And I just fell in love with it, man. He had a boat, he had a house right on the lake. And we fished every day. And I kind of fell in love with it and, just kind of grew from there.
God, so great, man. Fishing is one of those things. It's like golf. You start getting into it, but you get the bug. When you hit 47 marlin one day, you're like, man, this is great.
This is great. This is it.
Dude, I went fishing too in Louisiana. Adam Dunn, it was like his 35th, I can't remember, 30, 35. His wife
with Brad Penny, right? Penny and you guys went down there, and Zimmerman came down. Well, dude, we had an unbelievable time, and we were fishing. I swear, I'm not kidding you either, bro. We were fishing when those big oil rigs that are out in the middle. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta fish the rigs.
And the tuna's sitting around there, bro. Right? And dude, I'm from Pittsburgh where we got the Monongahela River. You throw your line and you might pull out a tire. You're like, we got something. You're like, oh my God, we got a Bridgestone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we were down in Louisiana, bro, and we were going by those oil rigs, dude, we were hitting tuna all day long, and we brought it back, and the guy, boom, he cut it for us. We were eating raw. It was like, this is the best sushi I've ever had. You know what I mean?
Right there, right?
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh man, and that's what I mean, bro. When you start doing experiences like that, you're like, why wouldn't I do this all the time?
Yeah, what am I playing baseball for?
Oh my God, it's so true. See, I also saw you out there golfing. First off, I saw you a few weeks ago up at MLB Network, and when we think of CC Sabathia, we always thought a little bit of a boiler, throwing 100 miles an hour, slider. And I saw you up there. I was like, "Bet, are you doing a bodybuilding show or something?" Talk about that, bro. Talk about your transformation, of you just really being health conscious and jacked right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is something that was by design. I always knew that I wanted to get jacked when I got done playing. I'm a big guy, right? And
right.
I've owned that. I've been as big as 335 pounds on the mound.
Right.
Never been scared to tell anybody how much I weighed and what it was. And when I lost all that weight in 2013, I didn't like the way I looked. I felt great. Obviously, I didn't pitch good, but I just didn't like aesthetically how I looked. So I knew once I got done playing, especially after my heart scare I had in 18, the history of heart disease I have in my family and all these different things, I knew I wanted to slim down, but I didn't want to slim down. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get the fat off, but I wanted to be jacked. I told my trainer, I told him right when I was able to, when I got cleared after my heart to do workout stuff, I went to my trainer. I was like, this is the last year of us doing rehab stuff. Like, when I retire after this year, I want to look like The Rock in 2022. Like, that's my goal, is to be able to go and do a workout and look like The Rock. And Dave Palladino, my trainer in Norwood, New Jersey, you know, he took it serious. And you know what happened? Like, I got, you know, the pandemic was tough on everybody's family, mine included, and it's been a tough time, but it helped me. Like, I got a chance to be locked in for a couple of months. Nobody asking me to go to dinner. There's no trips to go on. There's no flying around. Like, I can literally lock in on my diet and because I can always work out. Obviously, you're an athlete. We work out. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
nothing. It was just a diet. So to be able to lock in and change my diet and not have, you know, the temptation to go to, you know, Carbone's or Catch or all those New York restaurants, it helped me, man. And I dropped weight so fast and was able to turn it into muscle. And now I feel phenomenal.
CC, growing up in New York, you know, you got the Post, you got the Fan, you got everything. And every year when you guys would come into camp, there would always be an article on CC lost 15 pounds this offseason.
Yeah.
CC gained 25 pounds of muscle. CC gained 10 pounds. Did you hear that stuff? And are you like, what do you, leave me alone?
Now, you know what? I stopped listening to like my weight and caring about what people thought about my weight around 2005 or 6. I really thought about it a lot when I was early in my career because I am a bigger guy. And there was nobody that looked like me that pitched or played baseball. You know what I'm saying? For a long time. So it was concerning to a lot of people. Like, oh shit, how long is this guy gonna be able to do it? Yeah, he's 22, 23 years old right now, but can he do it? When Tim Maxey, we had Fernando Montes,
Oh God!
Oh my God! Like, he had me in Cleveland running around the fucking track in snowshoes, and doing all kind of bullshit. Like, I literally fucking hated spring training. But when he left to go to Texas, and Tim Maxey came in, and Tim Maxey was like, "Bro, stop fucking running from what you are. You're an offensive lineman. Like, you're a big ass dude. Like, you're just an offensive lineman that can happen to pitch. Like, treat yourself like that. Get your legs big as possible. Make sure that you're strong as possible." And go, and you'll be able to be durable. And once he said that to me, he was like, look at all these like skinny little guys, like they get hurt all the time. He was like, bro, with your body, look at Bartolo. He was like, with your body and your size, if you train right and accept it and embrace it who you are, you'll stay healthy and be able to go out and pitch 200 innings a year. And once he said that to me, it clicked, and I was like, man, fuck these people. Yeah. I am big. Yeah, I am me. Like, I'm gonna own and walk in this. And you know, I was able to pitch like that and long as I did, but it was only Maxey that changed my mentality.
Well, dude, you know, we have a lot in common as far as I came up with the Indians too. So, like, first off, when you said Fernando Montes, I almost start running.
Fucking warrior run, man, 1,000-yard shuttle and under 3 minutes. What they got to do with baseball?
Yeah, dude. I'm coming in doing that shuttle. In the offseason, I was like, I can't even hit. I just need to prepare for the shuttle because Montez.
That's it.
I remember one time Kevin Mitchell like never finished it, and they're like, he's like, Montez, hey, you didn't finish. He's like, dude, I'm trying to hit 35, 40 bombs a year. I'm not trying to finish it.
Bro, do you remember like Winter Haven up there by that orange dome? They used to mark the lines off, and like the whole organization to be out there seeing who didn't finish. And then if you didn't finish, you had to come in every day early for fat camp because you couldn't run a 1,000-yard shuttle in under 3 fucking minutes.
Oh my God!
Insane, dude! Insane,
dude! Absolute nightmare. You know what's so funny? I remember Manny Ramirez had to do fat camp one time. I'm like, you got Manny Ramirez doing fat and see, I remember I'm coming to minor league camp. We're going down the hill there.
Down the hill.
I see Manny Ramirez riding by on a bike with no seat on it. And I'm like, wait, isn't that one of the best hitters in the game? They're like, hey, Fernando's got him in fat camp because he didn't do the 300-yard shuttle, and he's got no bike, and he's got no seat. And if he doesn't just keep going, he's gonna rack his nuts. You know what I mean?
Oh man, when you just said coming down the hill, it made me think about Boyd Coffee. Remember Boyd Coffee?
Oh my God, yes.
The hill, making sure you running down and tempo. Like, man, Indians organization was such a great place to get drafted by. Like, the people and the organization was phenomenal. Like, I definitely think it was a blessing that I got a chance to get drafted by them. And I think my career was shaped by them. Like, I don't think I have the career that I have or can deal with a lot of the shit that I dealt with if I didn't come up in that organization.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, because I feel the same way. I know when I went to other organizations and the minors, I was like, I got treated better in Watertown, New York than I am in AAA. But I felt like Mark Shapiro and like all the guys that they had a game plan for everybody. Even though you were the first round pick, I almost felt like I was a second round pick, but they treated some of my buddies that were like 12th round picks, 20th round picks. They were trying to develop everybody. I know it helped me from when I went from the Indians to the Reds. I was like, man, they developed me to be ready to play in the big leagues. I know that helped me. So can you talk about that a little bit, about your development with the Indians, and like, how did that help you when obviously you got to the big leagues, but then when you went off to the Yankees too and other organizations?
Now, Case, think about it though. If you think about like the Indians organization, I always say that they're the big leagues, minor league system. Like, think about all the players that came through there and got traded and like went on to be superstars in other organizations and lead their team to World Series and like become legendary Hall of Fame players, but that were raised by the Indians that couldn't keep them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like this is just off topic. It's crazy, but like me and Curtis were talking the other day, and like an organization like Cleveland would benefit. Like if they had a player like, say, like you got drafted by the Indians, if you would have came up through there, went to free agency, and they signed you to a $300 million deal, but you are their guy, that shouldn't go against their luxury tax books. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
That'd be a great way for organizations to be able to keep their stars, right? And like the small market teams, like, if you think about the A's, if they had Zito, Hudson, and Mulder, they would have been able to pay those three guys and keep them, and now they can build a dynasty. But like
brilliant.
The Indians, I think, get screwed for being such a great organization. You talk about Mark Shapiro, you talk about, Ross Atkins, Dan O'Dowd, John Hart.
Neil Huntington.
Incredibly honest with you. Whether you're the first round pick or the 50th round pick, they let you know exactly where you stand all the time in that organization. And if you have a question, you can go in there and ask. Most places aren't like that. So to be able to, like you said, that they develop players top to bottom in the clubhouse, being a good teammate. They'll rather have 25 guys that are good teammates and lose than win the World Series with 25 assholes. Yeah. And that right there in that statement, like, that is why I being honest, I didn't want to come to New York, because I thought the clubhouse was all messed up. And different things, you hear on the outside looking in. The clubhouse culture was super important to me because I came from Cleveland, and that's all I ever cared about. You know what I'm saying? So that organization, I can name people: Tony Amato, Mike Segi,
Johnny Goral,
Jimmy Warfield, Paul Spicuzza. These people mean the world to me, because I would not be sitting here and be who I am if I didn't get a chance to come to that organization.
Oh my God, dude, I feel the exact same way. What's great is that I can tell the passion you talk about that organization. That's how I talk about it too, because I'm like, I was so fortunate. I thank God every day I was drafted by the Indians. Even though I got to the big leagues and a guy named Jim Thome was playing first, they're like, hey, they're like, take your tired act to Cincinnati. We gotta go. It was so funny. I go back when I came up with the Indians. We had the winter development program. Remember, they bring you up to Cleveland. How awesome was that? It was so cool. But I remember our top 10 prospects, like, when you were drafted, they were the best team in baseball. And so I was along with that time. Our top 10 prospects were me, Danny Graves, Russell Branyan, Richie Sexson, Einar Diaz, Jarrett Wright, Brian Giles, Bartolo Colon. It was like Enrique Wilson. I think 8 out of 10 of those guys went on to be all-stars at the other level. So I love what you're saying about you and Curtis were talking about. What an ingenious idea, because, hey, listen, for teams like the Indians that scout well, they draft well, they develop well. Hey, if you can sign those guys to a long-term deal because you do it better than anyone else, why should that go against the
count against
tax?
you?
Oh,
but think about the dynasty that the Indians would have if they're able to keep their players. Like, these are their players, whether it's Manny or Tome or me or you, Richie. Like, these are their guys. Like, they literally went out, drafted, scouted, developed, made these guys good guys in the clubhouse. Like, every guy that you just named is a guy that teams wanted because they were glue guys in the clubhouse. but that shit came from the Indians organization. You know what I'm saying? So they almost get like penalized for being such a good team for developing players. Like, if they had a chance to sign everybody back, the Indians would have 4 or 5 World Series by now. I'm telling you.
Oh, there's no doubt, because the window was so small, right? It's like you got to win, and if you don't, boom, they can't afford to keep guys like you. And you know
the thing about them is, like, if you think about it, they always have a window though, right? Like they had a window in the mid '90s, and then they had to rebuild, and then we had a window in the mid 2000s when I was there. Then they had to rebuild, and then they had a window again in 15, 16. Like, that's just a testament of how fucking good they are.
Yeah.
Like, developing, starting over, you know what I'm saying? Like, who can do that? Like, no other team does that.
No, it's so true. And it's funny because watching Antonetti do it now, you know, I remember when, you know, all these guys were under Mark, and all of a sudden they're all leading, GMs and other clubs. Those teams, CC, going back to those teams with the Indians, man, because you guys were good and you were so close. And watching you guys not being that big market club, but being so close. Can you take us back to some of the teammates that you played with then, and maybe something you feel like, man, that something got away from you guys that one year?
Yeah, we definitely had a missed opportunity in 2007. And I always blame myself. I think if I pitched, you know, the way I pitched at the end of 08 and 09, we definitely won the World Series. We had the best team that year in 07. But, you know, we were young. We had all came up together. We'd all, you know, a lot of those guys that was on that team played a lot of minor league baseball together. You know what I'm saying? So it was, and we knew it was our one shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we knew I was coming up on free agency. I had already signed a deal where, you know, I had gave them one of my free agent years, and I knew that, like, you know, in 08, I was probably going to get traded. You know what I'm saying? Vic knew that he was coming up the next year. Casey Blake was a free agent. Like,
it was like a real-life Major League movie. Right? It was like the real life Major League movie.
We knew that this is our one shot. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was one of the only times that I cried after a big league game was Game 7 in Boston, just because I knew that was it. Like, that was one of the one times where I was present in the moment as a big leaguer, and I knew that my brother Victor Martinez, I wasn't gonna play with him ever again. I knew Casey Blake, I wasn't never gonna play with. I knew Johnny Peralta. You know what I'm saying? Grady Sizemore, like, these dudes are like my brothers. Like, I mean, we had fucking barbecues and birthday parties. Like, we hung out. Like, we were together all the time. And I knew that was it. And that shit hurt me.
Wow, man. Well, dude, you just naming all those guys, too. Those are some pretty good players that you guys had on those teams.
Yeah, we had some. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we got the Grady, Cliff, and Brandon in the trade for Bartolo. So it was just like they always were able to reload and, you know, put the right guys in. And the Indians do a good job of making sure the guys going to fit into the culture. You know, they won't trade for a guy that they know won't fit into their culture. So, I mean, they had built that thing from the ground up. And like I said, I know it was my fault. If I pitch anywhere like I did in 08 and 09, you know, we have a parade downtown, and then everybody gets signed back, and now we're all living in fucking Westlake.
Yeah. Probably true, too. Probably true. See, so what about your time, you know, so you go from the Indians and then you get traded to the Brewers, and you weren't there long, but man, like, I think in Major League Baseball history, we'll all go back as fans and look at CC Sabathia's time in Milwaukee and that dominant stretch you had. Can you take us back to that and just what it was like? Because I think, what did you throw, 130 innings or something ridiculous? It was It felt like you were going complete games. I think you were coming out of the bullpen every night. I feel like you pitched every night. Can you take us back to that and what it was like your time there in Milwaukee?
Yeah, no, it was incredibly crushing for me to get traded from Cleveland, right? Like, we flew in from Minnesota, got the news, you know, Segi came back on the plane, told me and him started crying. Like, I got a chance to see everybody. And then, like, in my drive home from the airport to my house, you know, like a light came on, and I was like, I mean, why are you crying, bro? Like, you going to a team that got a chance to, like, a team that wants you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have an opportunity to go to a team that wants you. I was just nervous about going into another clubhouse, another organization. Like, I didn't know how I was going to be. Like I said, I was coddled. I was always with the Indians. I knew, you know, the guys are going to be good. I know the culture. I know everything. And, you know, the Brewers called me that night, and, you know, they were like, you know, you can you can wait. You know, it was a Sunday, and they were like, you know, you can wait and come here on the weekend, get everything together, and you can pitch on Sunday before the All-Star break. And I was like, fuck that. My time to pitch is Tuesday. I'm coming. Give me a plane. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm pitching on Tuesday, and then I'll pitch again on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I walked in the clubhouse, Prince gave me a big hug. My best friend, Dave Risky, who was in Indians organization, was already there. Mike Cameron, Ricky Weeks, Billy Hall. It just felt like I came home. You know what I'm saying? So right away, as soon as I got there, I just felt like I was on a summer ball team that I had known these guys for 20 years. And it just made me feel super comfortable, and it was easy to get integrated.
But CC, did you have, because, I mean, you put the world on your back that half of a season, and you were in a contract year, right?
Yeah.
So did you have agents and family and everybody going, don't do this, don't do this, pull it back, think about the future, don't think about this team?
My agent was so mad. He was so pissed. He didn't even come to the last game. Case, you know Brian BP. You know BP. BP was so mad, and we
love BP.
We close. We have a good relationship, and he was pissed. But like I was 28 years old. I knew I was healthy. I knew I felt good, and he was worried about me like hurting myself and, you know, messing up the money. I was like, no, I'm gonna get us more money, bro. Like, you let me go out here and pitch every 3 days. I'm in a groove right now. I'm locked in. Like, let me keep going out there. And I remember even Dale Swain, Dale didn't want me to pitch either. I had to go into his office in Chicago, and I remember he didn't put my name on the lineup card the first day that I told him I was pitching on 3 days rest. And I went to his office. I was like, bro, I told you I'm pitching today, and I'm pitching again in 3 days, and I'm pitching again in 3 days. So like, it was really my choice. But I knew that I was healthy enough, and I didn't want the season to end. Like, the fans were great, the city was buzzing, we were having a lot of fun, and I just wanted to keep going, and it was on me to keep it going.
Dude, one thing I've always loved about you is, like, you know, you're always kind of that throwback guy. You know, now I don't know if there is going to be ever a CC Sabathia again, the guy that just give me the ball. I want to go 9. Like, you were a guy, you wanted to go 9. I know that. Like, where did that mentality come from? Like, you know, where did you get that mentality of playing like that?
Man, I think Buddy Bell.
Yeah.
I think Carl Willis. I think Johnny Goro. I think, I just think those hard-nosed guys, those baseball players that, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like, the starter get the ball and go out there and give the bullpen, especially when you're the number 1 guy. Especially if you're going to walk around like that. You know what I'm saying? If you walk around and stuff like you the ace, you got to go out there and get a bullpen a day off every now and again. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, them wanting me to be that frontline starter, I had to walk in that, and I had to get used to that. And I mean, that's just something that, you know, I felt like I was kind of like trained to be. Mudcat Grant, you know what I'm saying? Like, he talked to me plenty of times, a year after year after year, about being an ace and being, you know, the leader and going out there and making sure that you could put the team on your back. So it was just having those. I mean, now I'm just thinking like Bob Feller, like all these different guys that I got around when I was younger. You know, they turn you in, they mold you into a beast or whatever you're gonna turn into.
Dude, this is so great, because I felt like there were so many guys too that kind of showed me the ropes when I came up. You know, like a Jim Thome, Barry Larkin, Greg Vaughn. Like, there was Pete Harnish. There were so many guys that taught me, hey, you know, how to tip, how to pay the clubbies, you know, what to do, what to wear on the road. Took me to Barry Larkin, took me my rookie year, got me suits. Yep. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of stuff.
It's not existing anymore in the big leagues. You know why?
That's what I was going to ask you.
There's no vets. Think about it. Like, think about the teams. Like, there are no veterans. You know what I'm saying? Like, really. Like, there's really nobody in the big leagues anymore that played with you.
Right,
you know what
nobody.
I mean? So like, there's nothing that you got that can be passed down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of guys that play with me, but like, they ain't in position to go buy a guy that came up suits because they still young. Right. The league is so damn young that it takes all of that veteran kind of like leadership and tutelage out of it. They're just figuring this shit out on their own. And now, to be honest, most of them, they come up because of Instagram and stuff. They already got like the cars and shit that like when I came up, like Ellis Burks was driving the S600 and Tommy had the Hummer, and like Tommy used to give me a ride in the Hummer doing weather developments, cool shit. Like now, these kids come up and drive the same car I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? Like they got all the cool shit already. Like I want them to give me a ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different game, man.
Dude, when I got a great story, bro. When I first came up, when I got drafted by the Indians in the second round, I got $223,000. I'm like, I'm set for life, baby. I'm set. So I went out and bought myself a nice Honda Accord, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I got a nice 2-door Honda Accord, green. It's so sweet, So sure enough, bro, when I get traded, and after a couple of years, I had a dent in the front, but I was like, I'm not fixing that. It's all right, all good, So I get traded to the Reds, and so I play that first year in 98. 99, I come to spring training. I still got this, dent in the 95 Honda Accord, and I've never played for the Reds yet. So I roll in. Here comes Barry Larkin in his freaking, his S7. Here comes Greg Vaughn. Denny Nagel's rolling in a Hummer. So I'm coming into the thing. I pull in. Freaking security stops me. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're like, this is the player's lot. I'm like, I'm a player. I swear to God. They're like, no, you're not. You need to back it up. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm the first baseman for the Reds. They're like, not in this car, you're not. I was like, I swear I bought this when I got drafted. And they're like, I just got here. I was like, I'm going to have that Barry Larkin Hummer one day. But I was like, you got to let me in. So, dude, they had to go get security. They had to go get the GM. No, the traveling secretary, Gary Wayhoff, had to come out and say, yeah, this is Sean Casey. He's the first baseman. You can let him in.
Oh, that's great. You know what's crazy is that Jim told me, so he had that tan Hummer.
Oh, yeah.
He used to always give me a ride in that thing. So after my first year in the big leagues, guess what I bought? A tan Hummer. So I come to spring training the next year, and Johnny Mack was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you bought a Hummer? I was like, hell yeah, I bought a Hummer. He's like, oh, they're going to kill you for that. So, like, he was giving me shit all spring training. I signed the deal that spring training. So just to fuck with him, the day I signed the deal, I drove to Tampa dealership and bought an S600 and drove it in the next day. Yeah, I was terrible, man. I was terrible.
I just thought of something real quick. It popped into my head that, like, you get into a fender bender and you start yelling at the guy in front of you, and you get out of the car, and the two guys that get out of the other sides are Jim Thome and CC Sabathia. Drop dead.
Oh my God, dude, it's so great. So after your time in Milwaukee, you signed obviously you were the big free agent that year. You end up going to New York. Like, were you why New York? Why did you end up picking New York?
Because, like I said, it wasn't my first destination. I'm from the West Coast, obviously. Grew up in NorCal, close to Oakland, close to San Francisco. So to me, I wanted to play for the Dodgers or Anaheim. That was my choice to play. Just to be on the left coast and have my family be able to come down. But then after analyzing everything, and like I said, when I said the Brewers traded for me, that was a team that wanted me. The Yankees really wanted me to come here, and me and my wife sat down and for me at that time, the only thing I was concentrating on was trying to win a World Series. And how can you turn down the Yankees if that's the only thing you want to do? If you want to win, come to the Bronx. They give you the best chance to win every single year. So if you talk about that you're a winner and all this shit, and all you care about is winning, how could you not put the pinstripes on? And if you have that opportunity, you have to jump at it. So did I necessarily want to come to New York? No, but I felt like it was necessary and I had to. And another reason I think I didn't want to come here too is because my father passed away in 2003 and we were really close. And he always wanted me to pitch for the Yankees. He always told me that George Steinbrenner was going to come get you when you're a free agent, blah, 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 blah. You're going to pitch in the Bronx. So when the opportunity came around, like, I didn't want to come here and then fail and then, mess up his dream of me pitching in the Bronx and not be able to live that out. So I was a little scared of that too at the same time, but I was just glad everything was able to work out. Like, I got here. It's been great. I mean, it's been 13 years now, and this is my home. I'm a New Yorker, integrated into the Bronx. We do stuff at the Boys and Girls Club, me and my family. My kids grew up, basically in New York. So, I mean, it completely worked out. And I thank Brian Cashman for really pursuing me and really, 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 talking me into coming here.
Isn't it amazing? Because it's like a tale of two lives. You come up with the Indians as a kid. You get to the big leagues at 20. You play your years there. But then all of a sudden, most of your life, you're a Yankee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but that's what happens when you play 19 years in the big leagues. You can have almost 2 lives, you know?
And that's what I say. Like, I definitely wouldn't have been prepared for what the Bronx was had I not been an Indian first.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I say they do a good job of preparing, you know, players and molding players and, you know, turning them into leaders of other teams, which they should probably be leading, you know, the Indians clubhouses.
Yeah. Tell us about that team in 2009. And, you know, you had A.J. Burnett was a big free agent. I think Mark Teixeira came over that year, and they were spending the big bucks. And guess what? It worked out. I mean, like, you know, so tell us about that year in 2009. What was that like with the Yankees?
Yeah, no, it worked out. It was great. I mean, getting a chance to come to New York and you know, have a chance to play with Mo and Andy, you know, it changes you. It shapes you, you know, and having a chance to sit with Andy every day, I think it, you know, prolonged my career. You know, he definitely helped me understand what it is to be an ace in New York, what that pressure is like, to embrace that pressure. But, you know, I got like a quick story just thinking about playing with the core four. Like, when I got to New York, I was, you know, I had already won the Cy Young, coming off that big year in Milwaukee in second half. So, like, now I'm CC Sabathia, right? Like, I don't fucking run in the outfield or do fucking First day of spring training, I see, like, the clubby coming around with the shoe. Like, he got a bag, and everybody putting their running shoes in there. And he was like, oh, this is for the guys that's going to run out on the field, the pitchers after PFP. And I was like, fuck that, I'm not putting my shoes in there. So I see Andy and Mo and everybody put their shoes in there. So we get done with PFP. And now, like, it's time to go do the running. So I, like, started heading back to the weight room, but I see Andy and Mo and all these veterans start to go out to run. So now I'm like, fuck, should I keep walking off or should I go run? So I put my shit down and ran in fucking spikes like a dumbass. Had shin splints. But that just changes you know what I'm saying? Like, if Andy and Mo and these guys are so accomplished, they out here running after they already got 4 World Series rings, guess what? My fat ass is going to get out there and run. And that's just the culture of coming to New York and understanding the demand of, you know, trying to win a World Series every single year. And those guys set the tone.
Wow. That is an unbelievable story, because you're right. When the best players on the team are doing the things that, you know, that everyone's doing, everyone gets in line.
And then that gives them the right to be able to yell at you. That gives Derek Jeter the right to be able to come at me and yell at me when he's doing all the little things that the 26th man is doing. That's Derek fucking Jeter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's the captain. That gives them the authority to come in and yell. And he never did that. He would always pull guys to the side, but it gave him the authority to do that. And it always made you fall in line when he didn't like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What was it like playing with Jeter? Because obviously I played against him all those years, never got a chance to play with him. So what was he like as a teammate? And why did it feels like, you know, he's one of the greatest. The fans just love that guy. Why did the fans love him so much? I mean, you got to see it firsthand.
No, I mean, just because he's himself. Like, he really is like a genuine great guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't sugarcoat nothing. I mean, he is a little guarded in the media. You know, he won't, you know, give his personality all the way up. But Jeet's a fun guy to be around, man. He cracks a lot of jokes, talks a lot of shit. And he's great to be around. And he's great to be like a sounding board. Like, I would call, like, after Jeet retired, you know me, like, you know how I am. Like, you know, it'd be games where I'll be mad at the umpire, or I'll be huffing and puffing and pissed off. And I would call him after the game and be like, yo, bro, I'm about to go off on the umpire right now. And he'd be like, nah, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, different little things. Or he'll see something that, you know, I did during the game and call me and be like, before I talk to the media, to make sure that I don't say nothing that I shouldn't say. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's just always taking care of people and looking out. And I think people love him because he's himself. Yeah. You know, he is what he is, and he don't try to be nothing else.
Yeah. What about that? Because I look at Jeter, I feel like, man, all those years he played in the big leagues, all the things that he accomplished, everything that he did, he was such a superstar. But I felt like he never said anything to the media that the media could take, right? He was a master at that. Like, he was like Yoda as far as dealing with the media, especially in New York. For you, see, playing all those years in New York, like, what was it like dealing with the media? And, like, was there any tricks passed on to you to, like, kind of navigate that?
See, I was the exact opposite. I tell you everything, and I'm almost too honest. And I'll get to cussing and talk, you know what I mean? But that's just who I am. And I think with the New York media, you have to be who you are. Like if you're guarded and you can give one-word answers and that's just how you are, then that's how you can play it. But for me, that's not how I am. I'm super open. I talk and I give information and it kind of is what it is. So that was the biggest thing that when I got there, Jason Zillow was like, just be yourself. Like you are, you are what you are. You can't try to be something that you're not, and they'll figure that out. You got a 7-year contract here. I ended up playing there 12 years. By 12 years, the media's gonna know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might as well be yourself right at the jump, and I think that's what helped me.
So your time there too, like I look right now, Brett Gardner's still there, 2021. I know he's your buddy too. Like when you came in, Gardy was, he was a young buck, right?
Yeah.
And
nobody would have ever expected Gardy to be here 12 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like when I came in 09, Gardy was battling with Melky just to get time in center field. Right. So like to have him now be literally the rock of that team and the reason why, I feel like Gardy every year comes in he's going to be our fourth outfielder, maybe play 50, 60 games. Motherfucker ends up playing 150 games every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gardy is a beast. I love that dude because I've seen that dude literally not be able to walk, not be able to move his arms, hands, fingers, toes, and shit, and still go out there and play. And his locker was right across from mine. He knows some of the pain that I used to be in. I know some of the pain that he used to be in. But guess what? We're going to show up in that fucking 7-1. We're going to be ready to go for you guys. So I love that dude for forever because I know how tough he is and what he'll play through.
Yeah. You know what? I had, when I look at Brett Gardner, I admire that. I'm like, that guy's going to the post every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And he be hurt, man. He be hurting. Like, he go to the post every day you need him, he going to be in there.
Yeah. It says a lot, too, because you talk about all the great players that have done the pinstripes, and there's a ton of them, you being one of them. But a guy like Brett Gardner to stay around as long as he has and do what he's done, he obviously is doing it's not just the numbers. That Cash and those guys know the value he brings, especially to the team now, 2021, with so many young guys in that club. You got to have some veteran presence.
Absolutely. I think the Yankees do a good job of making sure that they have vets and making sure that they have guys that have been there and know how they like to do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after Gardy's gone, Judge will be there. And Judge came up through their system. So it just passes on. The Yankees will always be the Yankees and do things the way that they do it because they'll always groom their players. You know what I mean? Like, it's always done the right way. It's always done the Yankee way, and Judge will just be the next guy.
Dude, do you have any advice for a guy like Booney for when, for the manager of the Yankees? Because Booney's a good friend of mine. And sometimes
he's my boy, too. I haven't talked to him a lot this summer, though.
Sometimes I'm like, I'll text him. You all right, bro?
Nah. I feel, we both know how great of a guy and how great of a heart Booney has and how great of a person he has. And nobody wants to win more than him. And none of this shit is his fault, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Well, why? What about the Yankees? Like, what about?
I just don't. You can't manage what you don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like now that the rosters, got a little more. It's a little more mixed up and it's a little more balanced. We'll see, but I just don't think that you can blame him for some of the things that have been going on. And maybe I'm biased because that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you can't ask me. And that's what people ask me, like, how was it playing for Boone? And I say, don't ask me because that's literally one of my good friends. So you can't. I'm biased in my answer.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I'm watching. I'm like, man, they had another 6-run lead and they gave up 7. They had another 5-run lead and they gave up 6 in the ninth. Like, and when I see Rizzo there and now Gallo, you realize how right-handed heavy they were. Like, wow, that's not. If you're facing a lineup, see that's all right-handed dominant or left-handed dominant, you can navigate that pretty easy over time.
Pretty easy, yeah. Later in my career, if you would have put all righties in the lineup, I would have had a pretty easy game.
Right.
Early in my career, you put all lefties in the lineup, I would probably had a pretty easy game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just when you're dominant one way, and the pitching is designed to get righties out, like those big, powerful right-handed hitters that we have. All the pitchers now pitch 4 seamers at the top of the zone. It's designed to get those guys out. So why would you have so many of the same guy in the lineup when the pitching is literally designed to get those guys out?
Right.
You got to balance the lineup a little bit. And that's what I always say. Me and CY always talk about. I always say, like, now, getting hits in the big leagues is a skill. Like what David Fletcher can do, what Nick Madrigal could do, like that's a real skill now, getting hits. Guys don't really know how to get hits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
They just stand there approaching. If they hit the barrel, it'll be a double or a triple or whatever, but they just trying to go deep, guys. Like, it's a real skill now. DJ LeMahieu, he has a skill on being able to find the barrel and put the ball all over the field. Like, not a lot of guys in the league like that now. And I found that because it was easy for me to pitch with fucking 85 and 88 because these dudes just trying to go deep all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a little changeup. Yeah.
Here goes a little changeup. Here a little cutter in your hands. Like,
dude, talk about that. Because listen, bro, I faced you when you first came up, and I was like, wow, that's a little different. Like, it was like 98. You were such a big dude on the mound. Wipeout slider. Like, your stuff was next level, and it was Cy Young Award 2007. But as your career went on, you were able to pitch 19 years in the big leagues. Your stuff started to go away a little bit as far as your fastball. But all of a sudden, you reinvented yourself and almost became a better pitcher. Can you talk about that, the reinvention of yourself in New York?
No, that was Andy, man. That was all Andy. If you look at the second half of my career, that's Andy Pettit. Throwing the cutter, the changeup, you know what I'm saying? Two-seamer, little backdoor slider. So having a chance to sit with him all those years and really like pick up some of the stuff that he was doing when my stuff was good. So I would like watch him when I was with him and my stuff was really good. I would pick up and try to pitch how he was pitching. So I was already like formulating myself into turning into him. But as my stuff diminished, he taught me the cutter, and I really literally had a chance to learn firsthand from what I think is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, I'm sitting here next to this guy every single day. He's like my big brother, and I can learn from him. He's open. He can tell me everything. We have a great relationship. We talk about everything across the board. It just made it so much easier. And you're right. I feel like the second half of my career, I was a pitcher. I wish I had the knowledge that I had the second half early, because I would have been
DeGrom.
A lot, but that's how it goes. It is what it is. But yeah, having a chance to sit and talk to Andy and learn, and Larry Rothschild, really shaped the second half of my career.
Yeah. Now nowadays, see, like, I look back at your career, and as a player, bro, who the Hall of Famers are. No, so for me, like when I look at Lance Berkman, I go, I don't care what people saying he's off the ballot, all this stuff. Lance Berkman's a Hall of Famer. It's so freaking annoying when I see some of this stuff. Like, no, Torrey Hunter, man, come on. Torrey Hunter is a Hall of Famer. I watched it day in and out. So when I faced you, see, I'm like, and then I saw your career go on as my career was over. I'm like, this guy, CC Sabathia, Hall of Famer. So Cooperstown's starting to come up for you. Like, would that be the icing on the cake for you? Do you think about that, going to Cooperstown, and what would that mean to you if it did happen?
You know what, Case? I think about it now. I never thought about it when I was playing. It's incredibly humbling to even think about me making it to the big leagues, like where I came from. So to just think about like my name being mentioned to go to Cooperstown is a blessing. So, it would be icing on the cake, because I never even thought of any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I seriously didn't. I never thought. 3,000 strikeouts. Like CC Sabathia. Like, I'm CC Sabathia from Vallejo, California. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the same amount of wins as Bob Gibson. Like, that's freaking Bob Gibson. Like my grandfather told me stories about Bob Gibson. And, like, I don't know. It's just weird. I got goosebumps. It's weird to me.
Me too.
Now, just to like sit here and like when you're reading off like my numbers, almost like for me, it's like, did that shit really happen? You know what I'm saying? Like for real, I sit back and like now that I'm detached from it, it's just like, dang, it's crazy. It's weird, man. It's a blessing, but yeah, it would be incredibly humbling to be able to get into Cooperstown. And like I always tell my wife, like I love get-togethers, right? Y'all see me everywhere. I have like a lot of people with me, and I'm getting people together. Like I feel like Cooperstown is like the ultimate get-together.
It is.
So like I need to be in that group. You know what I mean? I need to be in that group so I get together with these guys.
Oh my God. Well, bro, you're one of the best lefties of all time. Let's make no mistake about it. And when you go into Cooperstown, I'm hoping I'm up there to be there, because that'll be really, really something special, man. Really something special. So you Oh, the other. Oh, Oh, there you go. There's a stumble for you. So I'm not Dan Rather. You know what I mean? So the Players Alliance, dude, you're doing a lot of different things now. At the end of your career, but like the Players Alliance has been a big thing for you. You and Grandy and a lot of great guys. Can you just talk about that a little bit and like what that means to you now, being away from the game, but still being able to give back and what that means?
Oh man, it's amazing to be able to be a part of something that's so powerful. Players Alliance started in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. We made that video, and then the guys were just like, "What are we gonna do next? Like, how are we gonna impact the game and the youth?" And so many different guys do things across the board. Whether it's Jason Hayward, Mookie Betts, Dom Smith with his BBG, Marcus Stroman, myself, Curtis Edwin, D. Gordon. We all do stuff. Sheffield. We all do stuff individually. So we thought if we can come collectively together, the sky's the limit of what we can do. And we've only been together for 15 months. And, we've already made a huge impact being able to, stop in 33 cities over 40 days and pass out baseball equipment and PPE equipment during the pandemic. We finished that program up after the All-Star game. And we just planning on expanding and doing more showcases, more camps, definitely attacking trying to get more kids in the filter of travel ball and whether it's perfect game and these different things, and more kids in the front offices and integrated in the top of baseball. So it's just a lot of fun to be able to be connected with all the guys and hopefully make a change in the game.
CC, are you starting to see kids choose baseball more that you guys are out there? Because I know we know Harold so well. He's such a big proponent of what you guys do, and he's always said, get the kids the bats, get the kids the balls, and show them that we'll help you. We'll help you play this game, because you can just pick up a basketball and go play wherever you want, right?
Yeah, what's crazy? Absolutely. And when I was playing, I even made the statement. I said that the game was dead in the black community. It is absolutely not. The kids just don't have the opportunities to get to a perfect game showcase, to get to these different things. And not for nothing, I love Perfect Game, and they're a great vehicle. And they made it easy for scouts just to go to their showcases. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can partner with them and, do some things to get some of these underserved kids to their showcase. There's a kid right here at this hitting facility that I'm at right now that's fast, ran a 6'2", got some pop. Nobody's ever seen him. You know what I'm saying? He's a catcher. Nobody's ever seen him. So, he's a perfect example of kids that are slipping through the cracks. And we say that the kids aren't playing. They're just not getting the opportunities. They playing. And they playing all over. They definitely just not getting the opportunities to get to the next level.
That's great, man. And I think there's no doubt the Players Alliance, it's amazing how big of a presence that it has right now. And hopefully it does continue to grow the game and kids, especially from the inner cities, start to come out and really play Major League Baseball, because there's some really, really good players. See, also too, like you just wrote a book. And you've been on like a book tour, right? It kind of been on a little bit of a book tour. And just another thing, you're in with sharks, you're freaking fish, you do book tours, podcasts. I mean, it's unbelievable. So first off, like, why did you write the book? And like, what was the message you were hoping to get out with the book?
The book was, the message was, hopefully, I could help somebody that's struggling, that went through the same things that I went through. For me, I wrote the book, really for my kids to be able to have my words when I'm done, or when I'm gone, and, to be able to help them. So, being able to have a chance to write a book, in the first place is cool. And to have people receive it well is awesome.
Well, you know what? I'm looking into writing a book, and I'm like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought. So did you have like ghostwriters help you write?
Yeah, no, there was a guy named Chris Smith, a ghostwriter that definitely helped me. He co-wrote it with me. And we just did interviews, and it made it easy just talking in long form. And it was easy to get my thoughts out that way.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, just a legend of CC Sabathia goes on after baseball is done. But see, man, I can't thank you enough for joining us, brother. We know Chinch and I were talking to you. You've been podcasting for 4 years. We've been podcasting for 4 months. So man.
Can't thank you.
So we appreciate you coming on and helping us out and just breaking things down, bro. But I love you, man, and I'm proud of you for all the things you're doing, the impact you're making on lives out there. And like I said, hopefully I'll see you at the network here soon. But more importantly, hopefully in a couple years, I'll see you up there in Cooperstown.
I hope so, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
Okay, C. All right, man. We will see you soon. Hopefully we'll do CC Sabathia tune down the road. Maybe we'll be going for 4 years at that point.
No doubt.
No 9-90 case? Want to do it quick?
Oh, yeah. No, wait. One more thing before we go. We do it.
It'll just be a minute and a half.
Yeah, 9-90. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Chinch does two questions for us. I start, and then you go. Really fun stuff.
Okay.
Ready? All right, Chinch, go.
All right, we'll do it really quick. All right, Casey first. Better beaches, West Coast or East Coast?
Well, I'm a Jersey Shore guy, so I'm going to say East Coast.
I'm going to say East Coast.
Oh, East Coast.
Would you rather sit in a middle seat in coach on Spirit Airlines for 6 hours or have the hiccups for 24 straight hours?
Hiccups.
I don't know.
Oh, my God. I'd have to say the hiccups are the worst thing for me for what hiccups and cilantro. So I have to say I'll sit in the middle of Spirit Airlines for 6 hours.
All right, real quick. LeBron or MJ?
MJ.
Oh, wow. MJ. Yeah, I got to go with MJ.
All right. True or false? Al Leiter is the biggest close talker you've ever met.
True.
Excellent. All right. Boxers, briefs, or commando?
Oh, I like boxers briefs.
I like boxers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Your next life, you can come back as either a bird or a fish.
Oh, I'm going to come back as a bird. Who doesn't want to
Fish.
just fly all day? A fish.
I want to be a whale. I'm a whale.
Yeah, there you go. All right. This one's been out there. Hot dog. Is it a sandwich? Yes or no?
No, the hot dog.
It's a hot dog.
Hot dog.
All right. 2 more. If you did it all over, would you have been better tennis player or golfer if you picked another sport?
Golfer. I'm still
Golf.
too slow to be a tennis player. Too
Yeah, me
slow.
too. That's why I said East Coast.
Yeah.
Golfer for sure.
All right. This is the last one. Then we'll let you go. Sean Casey and CC Sabathia in one corner. Judge and Stanton in the other. Steel cage match. Who comes out on top?
We do.
Yeah, you know what? We'll have a finishing move. I'll hold the guy up, CC off the top rope, clothesline. We finish off Judge and Stanton. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, not even close.
CC, thank you so much, man. We do appreciate you. I know we took
See, thanks a lot,
Oh,
brother.
All
See you
right.
soon, man. Thanks, see. All right.
Oh, man. Case, we did it again, man.
Great, bro. So great,
Wow.
man.
So
Wow.
awesome. That was
Dude,
great.
you know what? When you get on with, when you talk through things with CC like that, and, obviously knowing him and him being a friend, I mean, he's such a great guy, such a humble guy. And it's so cool to talk through his career, especially for me, because I came up with the Indians like he did. And to hear him talk about Cleveland and what Cleveland meant, and then going to New York, and that was a big part of his life too. And he's living there now. It's just really, really cool stuff, man. Just one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time. One of the best pitchers of all time, in my opinion. Ever.
Oh, and by the way, I didn't get too fanboy here. Dude, being a New Yorker, when he got here and just the way he carried himself and the way he handled this place, because it really is it's not easy. It's not easy to even live here, especially if you're not from here.
Right.
And to embrace it, and now he is CC Sabathia. The way Sean Casey's the mayor of Cincinnati, he's pretty up there. He would win mayor of New York this year.
I think, well, dude, he's beloved in New York, right? I mean, the bottom line is everywhere he goes, he's beloved. He left his mark in Cincinnati, in Cleveland. They love him in Cleveland. Right. They love him in Milwaukee. He was there like 3 months. They're like, oh, CC Sabathia, so like, he's just one of those guys, man. He's just one of those figures in sports. And like I said, hopefully in a couple years from now, we'll see him in Cooperstown and he'll get his just due with all the best that ever played the game, the 1%ers.
Yeah. And by the way, my favorite thing is when you and the other guys are talking, there's things that you can relate to that nobody else can. But when you guys are telling those stories about the strength and conditioning and the fat.
Oh my God, Fernando Montes, bro. No, seriously.
You both lit up like Christmas trees all fire.
Dude, because we were both young bucks, and Fernando Montes was like a Marine drill sergeant. And dude, we used to go. CC was talking about the upper field. We used to go, put the cones out every morning. It was like, so after you were done with a game in the minor leagues, They're like, go see Fernando. And you're
Oh,
like,
no.
oh my God, go see Fernando. And we would do gassers every day. It was a nightmare. But I remember one other thing we did. There was a pool up top at the Winter Haven facility. And Fernando used to fill up those, those like polar waters, those big jugs, you know? And so you would have to take the polar water, tread water, and then put it over your head. And you couldn't be done until the water was all out of the jug. And you're just like,
oh my God.
You're like, oh, I'm going to drown. I'm going to drown. I was like, are we going to hit baseballs or am I going to drown here?
Mr.
At
Miyagi
minor
stuff.
league camp. Yeah, it was unbelievable. So Fernando Montez, it was so funny when CC started talking about Fernando. It was just so cool because, he, the way he was talking about how it was such a nightmare. I totally remember those days. And that was such a funny story when I remember Manny Ramirez,
That's
was in
amazing.
the Fat Club and had to ride a bike all day with no seat on.
That's unbelievable. I could just picture it in my head.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's
man,
unbelievable.
you did it again.
All right,
You're
awesome.
You're like you're not, now you've become like the biggest guest booker in the country. You're doing pretty good with this. We're doing all right.
Oh, man, we're working on it, man. We're working on it. That was awesome.
man.
It's amazing. CC said he's done 4 years of podcasting, too, which is
That's
pretty cool.
crazy.
Really
Crazy.
cool. Really
We've
cool.
done-
All right,
yeah.
brother.
All right, man.
All right, Chinchy. I love you,
Love
my
you,
man.
too.
Hey, I just want for everybody out there that's listening to us, we're so grateful you guys listen to the mayor's office. You can find us here, like I said, on nofilter.net, usually when we're doing it live. YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. And we see the numbers going up. We see you guys tuning in, and we're very grateful for that. And hope you enjoyed this episode with one of the best of all time, CC Sabathia. And we'll see you guys next week. Chinchy, love you, my man. And I will
Love you,
see you,
buddy.
brother. Okay,
All right,
my
man.
man.